Well, we have to start the news with the fishing industry. And for those of you who enjoy your fish, you should know not all the fish out there is safe enough for your consumption. It turns out some of the fishing practices, especially involving the use of chemicals, end up rather introducing poisonous substances into your fish and putting your health at risk. Whilst we wait on government to comprehensively address this problem, Joy News' Adelaide Arthur has been engaging some fishmongers on how to tell the good fish from the kind that could also put you at risk, and why illicit fishing is really bad for your health.
The color, appearance, smell and taste of a fish can give an indication as to how it was caught. Fishmongers particularly are very good at telling the difference between fish caught using safe methods and those harvested through illegal means, such as light fishing and the use of dynamite.
Fresh fish caught illegally does not turn black when processing, unlike those harvested using the light fishing method. They are usually torn into pieces and have bloodshot eyes. It also smells bad.
Madam Akosia Mensiwa, who says she's been in the fishmongering business for about 45 years and has 5 dependents, had to abandon fish processing due to frequent spoilage.
They appear fresh when you buy them from the fishermen, but start discharging smelly liquid after a few minutes, and they turn red. They break when I prepare them for processing. They are not appealing when ready for sale. I always lose money because I throw a lot away. I'm still in debt, so I've abandoned the trade and I'm now selling bull fruit instead. It's really been difficult.
The use of light to attract fishes and subsequently killing them with explosives has gained popularity among some notorious fishermen.
These fishermen, what they do is that they use light, that's with the help of a generator they carry aboard when they are going, and then they dip it into the water, and then the fishes are attracted to the light. And therefore, when they aggregate, then they use a net to encircle it. Yeah, they could just harvest it that way, but of course our fishermen want to increase the efficiency. And so with that, they then blast it with dynamite, or they can use chemicals to kill it. It's just to ensure that all the species or all the fishes that have been aggregated are dead.
Dr. Campion draws a direct link between fishes killed using explosives and chemicals and the rate at which they go bad.
If fishes are caught regularly through entanglement, we are talking of them caught in the net, the regular fishing method, then of course they take a longer time to die. They die slowly, and therefore the rate of spoilage is also decreased, especially the ones that have been blasted using dynamite. Then, of course, you have them the shock of sudden death. And, of course, blood is suddenly spilled to other parts. So you find that the gills are relatively darker. The whole fish looks bloody. Some are highly mutilated, torn into pieces. Yeah. So, of course, then when you have blood and others mixed up with the fish, then deterioration is faster.
Though the fishermen seem to be aware these methods are illegal and harmful to consumers, they argue it is their only means of survival, considering the rate of depletion of the fish stock.
It is the psycho-fishing practice that has compelled us to engage in illegal fishing. Those engaged in psycho are stationed on the sea and always harvesting fish which we no longer find close to the shore. We now use about 2 drums of premixed fuel, which cost us about 1,400 cedis to enable us to travel farther into the sea. It is very expensive to do fishing now, and so we are compelled to use illegal methods, else we won't make any catch.
And see, I want to use the main it is was stop as I could not the main use because I want to armor the menu Bunoaba.
The chief fisherman of Marine Park at Elmina is confident deploying a fish safety testing device at all landing beaches will ensure potentially harmful fresh fish catch does not end up on our plates.
We have asked government to introduce test kits at all landing sites to test fish for their safety. We've made this request at several meetings and we've been told it will be considered.
For the sake of the many consumers who enjoy fish, whether smoked, dried, fried or grilled, raiding the market of illicit fish should be of utmost importance to the government.
Very interesting story there. Well, it is said the wise man built his house on a rock, whilst the foolish man built on sand. Building your home on a rock at a quarry site especially is also not a smart thing to do, as it puts your life and property at risk. Quarry companies in the Shai-Osu-Doku district in the Greater Accra region are particularly worried that quite a number of developers are building too close to their concessions, which also have great implications for such properties during blast, and would want the Environmental Protection Agency to urgently move in before the untoward happens. Matilda Pomagan decided to find out more.
The Shai-Osu-Doku Quarrying Enclave is a vast area with about 30 quarry companies, with each site blasting setting of about 2 to 3 blasts each week. That's about 90 explosions a week, probably more than some of the world's most dangerous war fronts. There are communities that often complain about the operations of such quarry companies. But these companies, on the other hand, argue that rather than blame them for the impact of the blasts, the communities that are complaining are the ones guilty of encroaching on lands designated as blast zones and not suitable for human settlements. Greenhouse Estate, for instance, is putting up residential units approximately 100 meters from the operational area of the quarries. An issue Alexander Dagadu of Cedar Quarry Limited says is of great concern.
If estate developer is close to us, it will be a problem because when we blast, there will be flying rocks that will disturb human activity. Not exactly, not only our land, but because of the nature of our operation, we blast, we drill and blast rocks. If it flies, even if it fall on their roofing, it will damage it. If human activities is going on, it can destroy everything. We can only announce that we are blasting today, we are blasting so and so hours. You get me? That is what we do, so that all activities around have to be stopped. So that if we are going to blast and the rocks fly, it will not disturb anybody. But when they are closer to us, it will cause trouble because we can be announcing every day we are going to blast and people are living in a house. It will be a problem. What is happening is even they take over some of our concession now.
Okay. Several letters written to the Environmental Protection Agency, copied to Minerals Commission, as well as the Shai-Osu-Doku Assembly, is yet to get any concrete response.
What happened is that we make an inquiry at the Assembly. We belong to Shai-Osu-Doku Assembly. We make some inquiry. They let us know that it is for washing of tankers. Okay. If washing of tankers, they will not make the layout that way. But it look like an estate activity because they are now fencing around their boundary. We went to Minerals Commission, we reported to them. They let us know that when it is human activity, it have to be 500 meters from our boundary. But if it is for equipment, it have to be 300. So we are cautioning the public to know that whatever happens to any inhabitant there, it will not be our problem.
Clearly, the activities of these developers brings great discomfort to the quarry companies as it restricts their operations, especially the blasts. Joy News' attempts to get a reaction from managers of the greenhouse estate were unsuccessful, as workers at the site said the general manager was away in China.
In other stories, the Minister of State in charge of public procurement, Sarah Adwoasafo, is accusing the former NDC administration of using sole sourcing under the public procurement law to loot state funds. According to her, apart from the award of contracts to friends and cronies under dubious circumstances, most of the contracts were seen to have been inflated. Addressing a program to train ministers and other public officials on procurement, Sarah Joasafo said her office is in the process of reviewing all such contracts to advise government on what to do with them. She assured that under her watch, the laws will be strengthened and due attention given to the economy and value for money when awarding public contracts.
I must assure you that under the watch of His Excellency, the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and the Vice President, appropriate steps will be taken under our tenure of office to stop this wanton abuse of sole sourcing as a method of government contracts. We are compiling a list of all ongoing contracts and projects with all government institutions in order to advise government whether or not to proceed or abrogate such contracts. Again, number 2, investigating the procurement processes and procedures that each procurement entity went through before awarding government contracts to any public sector person in order to ascertain the level of compliance. 3, my office will come up with a policy document on 70% of government contracts or projects for our local companies or industries, and also ensure that 30% of that 70% goes to women, companies owned by women, persons with disability, and the youth in employment. This was a manifesto promise that we made to the people of Ghana before we took office. And my office would make sure that we would implement these policies to the best of our abilities.
In agriculture, farmers at Nwase in the Winchi municipality of the Bonafo region are complaining of massive losses as a result of the invasion of fall armyworms. Thousands of acreages of farmlands have since been destroyed as a result of the pest invasion, with maize particularly the worst crop affected. Correspondent Nestor Kafri-Ajuma has been interacting with some of the farmers in the Nwase area and came through with its reports.
Some of the farmers in and around Nwase in the Winchi municipality of the Brona-Ahafo region have invested thousands of Ghana cedis just to control the destruction caused by the fall armyworms. Others, though, have simply given up because they do not have the financial strength to buy the chemicals. Most of the farmers in this area take the fall armyworms that have invaded their farms for just worms, even though they have had assistance from agricultural extension officers who recommended the use of several pesticides without a result. The fall armyworms invaded our farms last year. We had a hard time destroying them. The fall armyworms showed up immediately we started planting our produce. The agric officer prescribed some chemicals to use, but it has not yielded any positive result, as you can see. Francis Yelfree is therefore appealing to agricultural researchers and scientists to come out with some pragmatic measures and chemicals that could effectively control or prevent the fall armyworms. Felix Atakwabna explained how the fall armyworms are destroying their farms and said if the situation is not brought under control quickly, Ghana might experience food security problems.
That worms are inside, you see. So whenever you apply a chemical, you need to put the chemical inside because they are not outside. So they start spoiling the leaves within the inside. And after the leaves will come out, you will see them this way.
Meanwhile, Brona-Ahafo Regional Director for Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Dr. Cyril Quist, has assured farmers across the region of the availability of pesticides at the various district and municipal offices. He, however, stressed that no farmer is expected to pay for the chemicals. Nestor Kafri-Ajume's report for Joy News.
And before we go, for those of us who like traveling, this is some negative news, because British Airways says it is working to restore its computer systems after a power failure caused major disruptions for thousands of passengers worldwide. A system power cut is said to have resulted in mass flight cancellations at two of UK's biggest airports, Heathrow and Gatwick. Speaking on the marketplace, Russell Padmore of the BBC said the situation, which could be described as a calamity to the international airline industry, has led to great loss of revenue.
It's been a real challenge for the airline. Now, things are getting back to normal today, but across the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, British Airways has been forced to cancel something like 800 flights to destinations right across the world. Thousands and thousands of passengers found themselves in a bit of a predicament. Some were being advised to contact the airline to find out if they needed to come to the airport. Some were advised to look at the website, and they were getting differing information. The website would say, come to the airport. They'd arrive at the airport to be told by staff that they should not have come. And it's been a bit of a challenge for British Airways because there have been allegations that the airline just might have been not investing as much as it should have done in its information technology systems, and the IT system went down. This was the problem. A computer error has caused this problem for British Airways. The trade unions have actually accused the airline of outsourcing its computer facilities to companies in India and cutting back on what they would regard as the more professional, more experienced staff working in the UK. So this is going to be a very expensive problem for British Airways. It's going to have to pay a lot of compensation to its customers.
And that's it for the news.